Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on The Scoop. I'm your host, Hannah Von Gremp. On today's show, we'll see some incredible people. First, we'll hear about the Graceful Warrior Project. We'll learn from a college professor about medical assistance. After that, we'll hear from our very own Saddleback filmmaker. Then we'll learn about a book that's been making a big impact among students, along with a couple tips on self-defense, and finally, a message on fair trade that a few ladies have been passing along. So, let's get started. The Graceful Warrior Project was founded by Kelly Kelly. She's been helping women all over the world. Let's go check out what she's been doing.
The art of self-defense is becoming more popular among women. Post-Me Too movement, not only is it relevant to use our own voices for good, but to empower others to do the same. One local Orange County woman is using her pain as fuel. She started a global movement of sisterhood called the Graceful Warrior Project. The Graceful Warrior Project is a global nonprofit that seeks to empower women and girls using a holistic approach. This takes the idea of strength a bit further than simply self-defense.
Many times they can be in danger or they might not get as many opportunities maybe to go to school or different things like that. So we want to go in and we want to build them up in every way possible.
The Graceful Warrior Project provides biblical coaching, leadership training, scholarship assistance, and mentorships in addition to self-defense training.
It's definitely made a huge shift in my life with confidence, definitely. Even just being friends with her, she just has such a light and she's so strong. And just seeing that and also being a part of the team has built my confidence, and her also training us girls in the team every Saturday morning. She teaches a new move, and being able to know that this isn't just on paper, this is actually like her helping us as individuals as well.
Although they started locally, they tend to be invited to developing nations, war zones, and places where the cultural mores and traditions are oppressive to women and girls. The Maasai, for example, are known for child marriages and female genital mutilation. The project's first international club began in Goma, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The DRC is known to be the most dangerous place in the world if you are a woman. 1 in 3 women here will be raped in her lifetime.
And we need self-defense to defend ourselves from. I know that it's not easy, but I know that God can help. When you know what you can do when you are attacked, it's not like when you don't know what you can do. Because when you have an experience in something, it's very easy for you to defend yourself.
Patricia took the lead at a local Congolese Brave event. Brave is a local youth movement started for young girls ages 12 to 17 in the foster care system. This demographic was 10 times more likely to be the victims of human trafficking. It has since grown to include young women from all backgrounds. Kelly has been invited to participate in Brave for the last 4 years running.
Actually, this time I will be teaching self-defense before the event, and I have my Graceful Warrior core team that are going to be there, so we'll be able to divide and conquer and make sure that each girl is seen and she gets to walk away feeling like, oh, I really did learn a move today, or a few moves. And then it leads into the event where we meet in a really large like the worship center, and there's a concert. Last year was Janice Freeman, and they have great speakers, they have slam poets, they have just incredible people, and there's always a really powerful message that is the theme of the entire event, and so the girls absolutely go crazy. They love it.
If you're brave, yes, say, I'm brave. If you're brave, yes, say, I'm brave.
To find out more, visit thegracefulwarriorproject.com. Visit them on social media at The Graceful Warrior Project.
That was some great information. I hope it was helpful for you. If you would like to learn more, visit thegracefulwarriorproject.com. Now for our college professor, Susan White. She took the time to give us some valuable information on medical assistance that many have benefited from and changed lives. Let's go to Jared with more.
Hello, everyone. Hello everyone, my name is Jared Schwartz, and today we are interviewing one of our college instructors, Susan White. Susan is a master prepared registered nurse who is certified in ambulatory paresthesia and is also the department chair for the medical assistant program. Interestingly, Susan started her own college journey at Saddleback College while still in high school. Please welcome Susan White.
Thank you very much.
Likewise. So tell me, Susan, what kind of classes can you take while being in the medical assistant program?
Well, medical terminology, so students learn a new language, legal and ethical aspects of healthcare careers, clinical courses, which include laboratory procedures, physical exam procedures, minor office surgical procedures, medication administration, insurance, billing, coding, as well as electronic health records. And that's it.
That's good, that's good. So in that case, since you said so many classes, what kind of careers can you get while taking these classes?
Well, we've probably all had the opportunity to be a patient at one time or another. Most people make the assumption that the person who's at the front desk or the person who takes them into the back of the office to see the physician, people make the assumption that that person is the registered nurse or the nurse. That's not, that's the medical assistant. Medical assistants do a lot, and many people don't recognize what they do. They are responsible for taking phone calls, scheduling appointments, verifying insurance authorization, taking co-payments, helping set up for physician examinations, everything from working with infants, adults, to the elderly, urgent care, working in an ambulatory surgery center or an outpatient medical clinic. There's a variety of things that the medical assistant can do.
That's honestly amazing. So in that case, what are some of the goals you're trying to achieve with, I'm taking these classes? What are the goals you're trying to achieve for these students for your program?
Our first goal is to help prepare medical assistants to meet the need of our community and our employers. And I want people to know about Saddleback College and make it their first choice for medical assisting, as well as all of their academic careers, pathways.
That's great. So I noticed how you said you've been in high school, been Saddleback College since you're in high school. So doing that for so long, have you noticed any improvements for the medical program as well?
Well, when I was first starting my career at Saddleback College, I was 16, and I was taking a chemistry class, which was quite an endeavor. Our campus has changed a lot. The medical assistant program, I didn't even really know about at that time. Since I joined the medical assistant program in 2004, we've made a lot of improvements. We've probably graduated more than 1,000 students, and they are out there working. We've added faculty. We've doubled the number of course offerings to help meet the demand. We've added a clinical skills specialist to our lab to help the instructors. And overall, I just see a huge respect for our students, and they're in demand.
That's great. So can you tell me in a sense or two some problems since you've been here for so long of just the medical assistant program or challenges you had to face?
I wouldn't say problems. I mean, healthcare is always changing. That's the one constant. Every day is different, and our healthcare delivery models change depending upon what's going on. I think the biggest challenge has been meeting the employers or our community partners' needs for highly skilled medical assistants. Just for example, last week, in 7 days, I had 8 phone calls from offices looking to hire our students. That's been our big challenge.
I see, so just trying to get all students to these jobs. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also like to thank you, Susan White, for joining us here today. And honestly, it's really great for you to be here and just, showing how well your classes are and all your programs. But anyways, that's it from me now. So I'm going to bring this back to Susan. Hannah.
Thank you, Jared, and a very special thank you to Susan White for taking the time out of her very busy schedule to sit down with us. Keep up the great work. We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we have a special filmmaker interview for you. So please, don't change that channel. The Scoop will be right back.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We dedicate ourselves to excellence in academics, student support, and community service. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
Hey guys, welcome back. So as promised, our next guest is Casey Partridge, a local filmmaker from Saddleback whose out-of-the-box film has got people talking. Let's hear from Casey herself about this incredible film, Maintenance Required.
I had an idea to make a short film about a Roomba because I was kind of desperate for ideas, and I thought expanding it to more of a out-of-the-box kind of world would help me come up with an idea, and it did. And it was kind of ridiculous, and I just wanted to dive into it and see what I could do with it. The main character is Eugene. He's the Roomba. He starts off sort of in his element. He's really good at vacuuming, and that's kind of where he gets his pride. And then halfway through the film, he finds out that he's broken and he can't vacuum, and he's very disappointed about it. But he does realize that he can paint by dragging paint over a piece of paper. So he kind of does that, and his owner is named Eli, and he is a painter, and he's kind of discouraged and not really doing anything at the moment, and he's kind of just lazy. And when he realizes that his Roomba can paint, he's kind of inspired again and wants to paint again.
It's beautiful.
Without the resources and I think mentorship that I got through Saddleback and through the professors and my fellow students, this would have never happened. I really rely on encouragement of people around me to complete something because it's hard for me to get that self-discipline. And again, with all the technical resources that Saddleback provides, really helped make it the best it could possibly be.
What a great movie. We definitely hope to see her films on the big screen soon. If you'd like to see her film, it'll be premiering with the Saddleback Showcase at the Newport Beach Film Festival. For our next segment, we have an amazing book from the One Book, One College movement. We took a dive into what people were saying about the book. Here's One Book, One
In the
College.
spring semester, Saddleback College hosts a program called One Book, One College. This program is a shared college read designed to promote discussion and understanding of the broader issues we face, both locally and globally. This semester, the topic they are talking about is drug addiction with a book of choice called Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. It is about a teenage boy named Nick who is a really good kid that had a bright future ahead of him until he starts to struggle with drug addiction. Once people are done reading the book, or not, The program then hosts discussions about how the book relates to the topic.
I had read the book previously. I was familiar with the story. I also read the sequel to the book, so I was sort of prepared just from having read the book in the past. And then I put together a PowerPoint presentation, mostly just to sort of facilitate the conversation. So the conversation was around perceptions of the addict and trying to sort of broaden people's ideas around that.
And it has. There are plenty of people that are learning more and more things about drug addiction from every discussion they have.
It felt very serious and very intriguing. There was a lot of things about drugs that I hadn't previously understood, like their side effects and the like, and a lot more of their dangers that were a lot more illuminated after.
When they first think of a drug addict or an alcoholic, they think of someone that might be homeless on the streets, that's struggling, and it's obvious when you look at them that they have a substance abuse issue. Meetings like this, and you learn this kind of information, you really get to see that anybody could really be an alcoholic or an addict, and it could be somebody like you or someone like me.
With even more discussion events happening later in the semester, One Book, One College helps plenty of people on the sole topic of drug addiction. Since Beautiful Boy is based on a true story, this can help people and students relate to certain situations that may have happened to them in the past, as well as support people that may know someone that could be suffering from a drug addiction, or even people on the misconception of a drug addict.
I think that the selection of this particular book is it was a great selection, and a lot of people enjoyed this book. And I think that because it's a true story and it's written in a way that really brings about a lot of empathy and compassion for the addict and for the family as well, as they went through this whole experience, I think that really helps to bring this idea of addiction and treatment and recovery. It helps people grasp that more when it's about a real person chronicling a true story.
What a great message. We hope the book reaches out to more people and changes even more lives. To find out more, visit the Saddleback College website at saddleback.edu/OB1C. We're going to take another break, but we'll be right back. Catch you then. Now, let's switch over to some self-defense. You may remember her from the Graceful Warrior Project, but we were lucky enough to get Kelly here to teach us a couple moves that may help in an emergency situation. She's been teaching these tactics to women all around the globe, so if you want to grab a partner, you can learn alongside us. Take it away. Today in the studio, we have the founder of the Graceful Warrior Project, Kelly. The Graceful Warrior Project helps women in vulnerable communities all over the world learn to defend themselves. And today, we're lucky to have her with us locally. Kelly, can you show us some of the most common ways a predator may approach a potential victim and a few moves our viewers at home might learn to do?
Definitely. We'll go over 3 typical scenarios that a lot of women find themselves in, and then 3 really easy ways to get out of it. So the first one is we're going to learn how to stand. That's kind of like the basics of this. So we want to stand with our hips width apart and take your dominant leg and put it straight behind you. So you're standing at the opposite corners of a box, a little bend in your legs. You can throw a ball through your legs. Okay? So this will help us maybe in case someone tries to push or pull us, take us somewhere. We've got a really good balance. Yeah. Okay, so now if someone is holding on to my wrist, good. the most natural thing we want to do is we want to get away from the person. And so we're going to try and pull, but our fist is larger than our wrist, and you are clamped tight around my wrist. So there's no way that it would be able to come out. So what I need to do is I need to come towards you. And so I have to, as a smaller person, usually if someone's attacking me, it's because they're larger and I'm smaller. So as a smaller person, I'm gonna need to look for the weakest parts of your body and go for those parts. So one of them is your wrist. They have some of the smallest bones in your whole body in your wrist, and I want to make it so if you hold really tight and see right here, even before I even get remotely close to your elbow, your hand is in a compromised position. So now I can come here. I want to almost touch elbow to elbow. You don't have to, but that's the direction I'm going. And so even against men who've been very strong, I can go in slow motion and I can still get out of it, no problem.
Always slides out.
So even if someone's holding both of them like this, I can get out, or even if someone's holding both, I can help myself by making a fist, holding on to it, and then, so all you're doing is giving your elbow. Don't think about pulling your arm, think about giving your elbow.
So giving your elbow,
So make your elbow scoop up like that. Exactly, just like that.
All right.
Okay, second one is if someone grabs you around the waist, maybe they're gonna try and pick you up and take you somewhere. So go ahead and grab me. So hold on really, really tight. So what we want to do is we want to look for the most sensitive, vulnerable areas, which is going to be the eyes, the nose, and the throat right here. You also have the groin down below, but for today's purpose, we're just going to go for the throat right here, because even if someone is super strong, their throat is still sensitive no matter how big they are. So I'm going to take my bone, the hardest part of my forearm, and I'm going to push it in. So if you hold on as tight as possible, and I'm going to make a frame by holding on to my own wrist, and I'm just going to simply push back on your throat. No matter how strong someone is, it's painful to anyone. So you always want to stand back and put your hands up. You're letting everybody else know around you, I don't like the situation I'm in. Okay, so the third one is if we're on the ground, maybe we're in a rape type situation. So if we get on your knees, perfect. And then I'm gonna lay down. Okay, so say for example, your hands are here. First thing is I wanna always control what's controlling me. So I'm gonna hold on to your wrists. Usually if something happens, we can be in a panic mode. So even if we just need a few minutes to breathe, to calm ourselves so that we can think logically and rationally, I'll put my feet here and make sure that, because if I control where your hips are, I control the situation. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kick off you so that I can turn my body this way, so that I can make sure that this leg can clear your arms. I'm going to come around your neck, clamp down, and push back, and then I'm going to push off you and stand up.
Wow. Yeah, that's a surprising kick to the back.
Totally. Everyone always is shocked by that.
All right. Well, can you tell us in a couple words about your foundation, the Graceful Warrior Project?
Yes. So we are a global nonprofit. Right now we're in 4 countries, Eastern Congo, the front lines of Ukraine, as well as Kiev. And we are in Brazil and in a jungle town in Tanzania at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
So we go there and we find women who are already leaders in their community. But what astounds us is that they do it with nothing. They have nothing to their name, and yet they are empowering the women in their communities. And so we want to come up behind them and say, here's more resources, finances, tools, so that we can help you do what you're doing even better and cause a greater impact so that you can change your cultures and your communities.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. That's all the time we have today. You can visit Kelly at thegracefulwarriorproject.com or at her Facebook and Instagram at The Graceful Warrior Project. Thank you guys, and I'll see you back in the studio. What an incredible woman. We hoped you learned something, and again, if you'd like to learn more, check it out at thegracefulwarriorproject.com. Well, our show is almost over, but we have one last segment for you guys. We talked with a couple of Orange County women about their passion for the fair trade movement. They wanted to help people in developing nations all over the world to enjoy the same freedoms that we do here in the United States. Let's go check out what they've been doing.
What if you could cast a vote for the kind of world you want to live in with every consumer purchase you made? The truth is, you do. That's what the women who founded Fair Trade Long Beach believe, and they're on a mission to further the movement and make Long Beach a fair trade town. Fair trade is a social movement whose goal is to help producers in developing nations trade under better conditions. Most fair trade companies are small and run by volunteers. In 2016, local Southern California women already involved in fair trade joined forces. Fair Trade Long Beach organized to unite their companies for a common cause. Founding member Katie Bond explains what she sees in the future for Fair Trade Long Beach.
So I see that we will eventually have a board of directors. I see we eventually will have Fair Trade Long Beach be a fair trade certified town, and that we'll also have a fair trade store that has an educational component, thrift store, community center, kind of a hub, kind of a cutting edge hub of what fair trade is.
We caught up with co-founder Teresa and asked her why it was important that Long Beach become a fair trade town.
Long Beach is a port city, an international port city, and so we have to be concerned with where products come from in our port. Is there human slavery in the fishing industries, or is there child labor that brings chocolate to us from Ghana and Africa? So that's why it's very important that we partner with like-minded organizations with our mission of fair trade, and that goes hand in hand with where we are today. We're here at the Toyota Grand Prix in Long Beach, partnering with the Long Beach Human Trafficking Task Force because the task force values align with our values also. We know that in the fair trade community, everything we do does have an impact, and this is a global impact, and it deals with social justice and economic justice. I mean, you have to have a heart and compassion for caring about where your products come from.
National Fair Trade campaigns also promotes fair trade at universities and campuses nationwide. The president of Vanguard's Live to Free Club explains how students are getting involved.
So Live to Free, like I said, is an anti-trafficking club on our campus. So what we do is we serve to educate our community through educating on fair trade through fighting labor trafficking as well as fighting sex trafficking through education. So the way we're involved the most is through outreach events such as our annual Fair Trade Fashion Show and on-campus events such as our Fair Trade Finals, Fair Trade Valentine, and Fair Trade Christmas events. It's been so awesome to see our student body become excited about becoming a fair trade certified university, and seeing how excited students have become, like, oh my goodness, I get to play a part in fighting human trafficking through my purchasing power. And like, this a little thing as such as buying a cup of coffee on our campus. Students are like, oh my goodness, just going to our local coffee shop is a really cool way to get involved.
To get involved or learn more, visit Fair Trade Long Beach on social media or email them at fairtradelongbeach@gmail.com.
What an inspiring story. Check out their website at fairtradelongbeach.com. Well, this wraps up this episode of The Scoop. I want to give a special thanks to everyone who took the time to talk with us and share their stories. All your hard work really pays off. Thank you for watching. I'm Hannah Von Gremp, and I'll see you in the next episode.